ladies and gentlemen, it is time to talk Panthers hockey with the man himself, the voice of your Florida Panthers. Let's go ahead and go out to the Toyota of Hollywood hotline. Shop over 2,000 Toyotas on sale at one location, Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan, toyotaofhollywood.com. Mr. Doug Plagens. Doug, how are you doing today, buddy?
Doing great. What's going on? Thanks for having me.
We got to say hi to the most swole play-by-play guy in sports.
Doug, this show has fancied you not only as a amazing play-by-play, but the way that you announce fights really has become a sticking point on this show of how talented and versatile you are on the mic. So I appreciate you joining us today, Doug.
Well, those are very kind words. I appreciate it. I do love calling a good scrap. I would list Jim Ross among my greatest inspirations, and again, it's something I really enjoy, and I think it's something that's always going to have a place in the game of hockey, and I think it's in a perfect spot where it is right now.
Doug, is what the Panthers going through, that seems like pretty normal for them, where they might have a week or two where it's not perfect hockey. They may be winning, they may be losing, but it just looks a little clunky. These last couple of weeks, they've given up, a lot more goals than we're used to seeing. Is that because, guys are trying to catch up to the system, or guys are just out that would play a large role in defending that?
I think overall they're happy with how their game looks, where their game is heading into a critical part of the year. And you look at it overall, yeah, they're missing some key players right now. That's obviously going to affect the way things might look night to night, but they're also a really deep team, and that's why they're able to keep things going and get a win like they did on Sunday, that shootout win outlasting the Pittsburgh Penguins, which came at a big time. Good bounce back game there. But obviously with Brad Marchand getting in there tonight, we expect him to play. So excited to see how he's going to fit in there. Overall, I think there are just a lot of different factors at play this time of the year. Everybody's played a ton of hockey. Everybody's had a wacky schedule because that's just been kind of the way things have gone this season, with the Four Nations break being a part of it and everything like that. And like I said, the Panthers working through having some key players out. The other thing that comes into play, and it's going to be something that's going to be worth watching, over the course of the rest of the regular season, and something the Panthers have seen lately, and it's something that you can't always quantify, but the Panthers have played some teams that are urgent and fighting for their playoff lives. No other way to put it. They're playing another one of those tonight in the Utah Hockey Club. And sometimes when you play a desperate team, the games can feel a bit different this time of the year. But overall, the Panthers are really happy with how things look, where things are headed and trending. That's what it's all been about. It's building and trending and making sure the game is where they want it to be and it looks the way they want it to look heading into an important part of the year.
Doug, do you expect to see some sort of adjustment period to Marchand? Do you think that's going to be of significant time, or do you think this is going to be like a plug and play? As soon as he's in there, he's going to mesh well?
I think no matter what, there's always some form of an adjustment period. That being said, just in going back to a conversation I had with Paul Maurice the day after he was acquired, he said that Brad Marchand's game already has a little bit of Florida Panther in it. And the way he plays, the things he does well, and his overall versatility, he plays both wings, he plays the penalty kill, he does a lot of things that are already right in the wheelhouse of this Panthers team. I think that added to his hockey IQ. He's a smart player. He's a player that has he's good at playing on the edge. He's good at playing around the net. He gets under the skin of the opposition, all those things. But he's a really smart player with a really high hockey IQ. When you have a player like that, it's a real luxury, and it makes those transitions, I feel like, much easier and more seamless. He's been really looking forward to getting out there with his new teammates. He's been involved in practices. He's been on the ice for a couple of weeks with the Panthers, things like that. But I know that everybody's excited to see him play tonight. So excited for that. I think there's always a learning curve. There's always a transition. He's played with one organization his entire career prior to coming to the Panthers, but I think because of his smarts, I think and his just raw ability, I think it's going to be as seamless a transition as you can have.
Doug, are there any updates on Matthew Tkachuk? Because I mean, when he gets back, and you're looking at him and Marchand on the same team, I mean, it looks like the defense is going to get to where it needs to be for the playoffs. But do you have any idea when he's coming back?
Well, it's nothing more than what's already been out there and what Bill Zito has said, and they're hoping that he can be ready for the playoffs. So I really don't have any other update than what's already been out there. But the thing that, as you said there, the idea of being able to have him and Sam Bennett and Brad Marchand in the lineup, and all the other, there's a lot of sandpaper in this Panthers team, and it's a really versatile team, and it's a team that's full of guys that not only from last year's group, but guys who've been parts of winning teams elsewhere. You look at Brad Marchand coming in; he's got a ring. He's got a lot of playoff experience. Nico Sturm came in at the deadline. He's got a ring with Colorado a couple of years ago. So this is as battle tested a team as you're going to find anywhere, as deep a team as you're going to find anywhere. They're showing the depth here as it's been tested a little bit lately with not only Matthew Tkachuk being out, but Kulikov being out, and obviously no Aaron Ekblad right now. And, you've had Brad Marchand out of the lineup up until tonight. So it's as deep a team, as battle-tested a team as you're going to find anywhere. And as we know, you get into the playoffs, not only to go through an 82-game grind, but to go through what the Panthers hope is going to be another long run. You need to be able to have that depth and those guys you can call on to fill spots as needed, and this team has had that and shown that. So I guess, like I said, roundabout answer. I don't have any further update on Matthew Tkachuk than what's already out there.
Now, I don't want to jump ahead of it, as I saw a few articles that were doing the same. He hasn't even had a second on the ice yet as a Panther. I want to be able to fully enjoy this, but I'm already seeing reports and rumors of where Marchand's next landing spot will be, including a possible return to Boston. Is this strictly a playoff rental for the Panthers, or do you see a future in which Marchand could potentially spend more than 1 year as a Panther?
I personally am privy to nothing in terms of those conversations. That goes far beyond the broadcast booth, so I don't really have anything to offer you there. But, Paul Maurice has said that, if things obviously, and he was asked it during the media availability in Boston, that first day that Brad Marchand skated with the Panthers. And he said, obviously, there are all kinds of different factors at play, and I'm paraphrasing, but, if things work for everybody, they're obviously, and it works for the team and it works for they're obviously interested in, potentially anybody being a part of their program down the road. But, as far as next season, I don't think anybody is, maybe in places, like I said, that I am not privy to, maybe those chats have happened. I don't know. But that's nothing. I don't think that's anything anybody's really discussing right now. The first order of business is to go out and have the best finish to the season they can have, get everybody acclimated to being a Florida Panther, get Brad Marchand on the same page, which, like I said, I don't think is going to be a difficult transition at all, and have the best playoff run possible. And I know that his objective is to come in and be a part of this team that has a chance to do it again. And he wants to be involved in a team that has a chance to win. So the first objective is to come out, finish the season strong, and have the best playoff run they can have. And, beyond that, I'm, not trying to dance around your question, but I really don't have any insight as far as that goes. I'm sure those conversations and everything will happen when they need to happen.
Doug, how awesome is it to be able to do the play-by-play for a team that's competing for championships like this team has over the last few years? It has to be a blast, right?
It absolutely is. This team is, and I'm not saying it just because I'm biased and I'm the voice of the Florida Panthers, but it's a team that I think everybody across the hockey world, and even casual sports fans who may not keep a super watchful eye on hockey, this Panthers team these last couple of years under Paul Maurice, they've played a style of hockey that people want to watch, that people find entertaining. If their team isn't in it, they are wanting to watch the Panthers. And we feel the same way every single night to be able to go and watch this team play. It's an absolute privilege to be able to be there for every step of the action and see the passion and to see the growth in the team and everything they've gone through and everything they went through en route to winning it last year, and knowing that this team is very much right in its competitive window, not only good last year and this year, but will be good for a number of years to come. It's a special thing and something that I know I don't take for granted, and I hope that none of the Panthers fans out there take it for granted either. I can tell they don't. The buzz in the arena, we feel it every single night. You don't get teams that are able to have sustained runs of success like this. It doesn't happen every single day. So I hope everybody's enjoying it. And not only is it a talented group of players, but just a group of guys that genuinely enjoys being around each other, and a locker room that's full of great personalities, really engaging personalities. Anybody out there who's had a chance to, bump into any guys from this Panthers team over the last couple of years, I'm sure they were just blown away with how personable and approachable these guys are. It's a special group of players on and off the ice. And like I said, we're excited to be a part of it in a small way every single day.
Now, tonight we face off against the Utah Hockey Club. As you know,
do you want to sell him on your name?
Yeah, actually, I would love to know his opinion on what you think.
I'm going to let him look.
Doug, be honest, Doug. Be honest.
Let the man decide. All right. It is the Utah Hockey Club. Did they finally settle on the Mammoth, or is that in the final three? Do you know?
I'm not sure if that's been finalized. I've seen the same reports that you have. I know that's been out there. And I know they had a lot of other different things kicked around, a lot of other different rumors kicked around. But I think, honestly, Hockey Club has been a good, easy for me, and it's rolled off the tongue nicely. But I know it's the finalist is I believe the finalist is Mammoth. I'm not sure it's been officially. I don't think it's been officially determined to be the name, but I like it. I don't have an issue with it.
Mammoth is good. I know for a while they were mulling over Yeti. I know the Utah Yeti. I thought that was a cool one. But hear me out, Doug. Picture this, right? No more are we throwing squids on the field or I'm sorry, on the ice and catfish. That's disgusting. All right. We're at a new level of professional fandom. I'm thinking everyone loves alliterations. The Utah ukuleles. We give everyone in the crowd ukuleles. Someone scores a goal. Whole arena just starts going crazy with ukuleles. Tell me that's not better than the Hockey Club, Doug.
Well, you're trusting that like 19,000 people in an arena every night are going to know how to play that thing.
Oh, yeah.
Also, by the way, that is the sound that a ukulele makes, apparently.
And Doug, you've been in enough arenas to know this. If you give somebody a weapon and alcohol, somebody's going to get swatted with a ukulele.
100%.
You guys have to be.
You're going to be sure. You're going to be finding them under seats. You'll be finding them in the parking lot. They're going to be there. There'll just be ukuleles all over. I think I prefer Mammoth to Yeti. My opinion doesn't matter on the subject. I prefer Mammoth to Yeti. I would probably prefer both over ukuleles.
That's fair. That's fair. Not a problem.
Thank you. He's been pushing this for a while, Doug. We needed somebody that wasn't us to tell him how ridiculous that sounds. Thank you. We're done with it.
Just to bring him back down.
I appreciate the effort, though. The UU. The only other UU in sports that I can recall is Uget Urbina.
Look at that! Come on.
I'm pretty sure the show cannot pronounce that.
Uget Urbina. I'm doing my best. Doug, before we get you out of here, I know you're an avid card collector, if I'm not mistaken. I want to know, do you have a Leroy Horde in your collection? We need to get you one if you don't.
I actually stumbled across one. I do, and I'm gonna have to get him to autograph it the next time I see him.
We had this conversation, and I said absolutely no problem.
Yes.
The next time we are near the arena, I will bring you a couple of cards.
Oh, that's awesome! Yeah, I stumbled across one. I was a big 90s football card collector, and so I definitely have some Leroy Horde at home.
Well, Doug, I appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to entertain this group of rascals here. I appreciate it, Doug. And man, go Cats, baby.
Well, thanks for having me. Happy to jump on anytime, and look forward to talking to you guys down the road. Thanks so much.
All right, Doug.
Thank you, Doug.
Have a good one.
Doug Plagens, voice of the Florida Panthers.
See, Doug is new to the show. He's only been on a couple of times. And let me tell you a couple of things.
Yes.
He was way too nice for this show.
Way too nice.
Right?
Way too nice for
you see how you tried,
and you're ridiculous.
You tried to break here. He treated Marcos like the girl you wanted to break up with, but you didn't want it to be on bad terms. And sometimes you got to let people know right away so they don't think that there's still a chance, right? He should have just came up, jumped off the top rope on you,